Hey, what is going on, everybody? Boilon here, back for another video on Marvel Strike Force. And in today's video, we're here to talk about a few things, but we're also here to talk about the return of Captain Britain. So this was actually in the datamines last week a little bit, but there's some more clearer details about this now that came out last night that I datamined there. So I want to talk about this, about Captain Britain's return. It seems to be his campaign event, the team up showcase thing, which I believe is what they brought back in like October, November. I was kind of going back on some of my videos and taking a look at that. But they're changing the details of how you're going to get the shards for him this time around. I also want to talk in the second half of the video about Old Man Logan's return and some of the best characters for that and whether or not that's changed at all. And we're going to take a look at a few extra things as well. So if you're ready to go, everybody, let's boil this down. Now, before we go too much further, I want to talk just for a minute here about Battle World. So you watch my video. If you watched my video from yesterday, I ran through it, and it wasn't that difficult for me. Of course, being a veteran player, difficulty 5. I'm a little bit disappointed that they didn't, or maybe they will in future iterations. I hope that they might consider that, honestly, that there would be like a difficulty 6 or 7, but I don't know if they have any plans to do that. And the reason why I say that is just, there were some comments that no, they shouldn't tune this around 105, and I want to clarify what I meant was that they should future-proof this by adding extra difficulties that are tuned around 105, because I feel that that's the biggest flaw and mistake of Marvel Strike Force, is that they tune it around what is currently available and not what will be available. And we know that we're currently leveling up to 105 with G20 coming around the corner, and most of the content is around like 100 G19 or less, right? And so that's why there's never any challenging content, in my opinion, in PvE, with the exception of like that temporal cataclysm that we had for a very brief moment. But it just didn't have any carrots that were worth chasing, But other than it was actually pretty interesting, but I just wish there was more to it. So maybe if they brought back something like that in the future, I'd actually be appreciative of that. As far as VPs and Battle World credits and all that stuff, I want to talk about this a little bit, because at the very, very top, if you manage to get this, I mean, I don't know if I'll get this or not. Maybe my lines will get this. There's 3 zones and then null. I'm not entirely sure. But anyways, at the top, there's like 100,000-ish Battle World credits. And the reason why I want to talk about this is because of the store. Ever since the Battle World store came out, I really hope, by the way, nobody has been spending their credits on these orbs. They're absolute garbage. They were dead on arrival, like when it came out, and they're still dead on arrival. Like, this needs to go. Well, I mean, it needs to go, but it needs to, maybe be like half the cost. Because honestly, I think that it's pretty extraordinary that anyone would consider spending 30,000 for what is equivalent to like you get like the minimum of 3 crystals, 3 to 9 crystals. Like, it's just so bad, because even though it's not great elsewhere, it's still better than spending this, in my opinion. And the cost of a single crystal being 5,500 is just outrageous. I mean, you might as well just save the Battle World credits for, I don't know, characters that you want, which in this case, Absolute A-Force is going to be coming out pretty soon. So I'm going to be waiting until they go in. I've been trying to push Emma Frost up to 7, because I do have that 3 diamond that they kind of gave away for that kind of F up the last time. I forget what it was, the Alliance milestone or something. But other than this, I'm hoping to save up for Kahori, because I do want to get her to 7 yellow as well to activate some of the diamonds that I pulled for her. Now, let's talk about Captain Britain's event. So let's jump on over to the datamines here. Let's go into datamine mode here, and let's talk about what's coming around the corner. So we do have next week's event here as well, coming soon, and Justice for All, earn Falcon Joaquin. Pretty sure that's how it is. I know people got on to me about this. And tons of XP. You have tons of XP, right? So here's some funny things. This is like a Where's Waldo in Marvel Strike Force datamines. Gain progress in this event by earning justice, by earned justice or fragments from ISO8 campaign. Use Immortal X-Men team in war, right? Because they're totally a war team. That's the Where's Waldo. Battle with Jean Grey in Cosmic Crucible. That's fine. And from the heavy the web milestone, basically, and all this stuff. You're gonna get some Falcon diamonds, some Crimson Tech gear, some the usuals, right? And it's gonna be a leaderboard. The Justice Orb doesn't really clarify exactly who's in it. It just says multiple hero shards. And the points is Immortal X-Men in Crucible, not War. But what's interesting though is that you're getting bonus points for Gear 17, 18, and 19. Some of the Immortal X-Men characters are very expensive to upgrade, namely, I believe Cable and Polaris. I'm not sure if I've even done it yet. I know I do have them at G18, but I don't know about 19. But since it's a leaderboard, you might want to consider this if you care at all about any leaderboard related rewards. But of course, you can see that, I guess, when it goes into preview, I suppose, or when it comes out on the blog. Battling Cosmic Crucible at 4, that's new too. According to the data mines, it says that you'll get points at 4 yellow Jean Grey. Normally it starts at 5 for these kinds of things, so 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 yellow Jean Grey, and then Justice Orb fragments from the ISO 8 campaign nodes. Now, they talk about the Captain Britain Encore Orb, and I do want to talk about this as well. Contains 1 to 100 Captain Britain shards. That's the description from that. And then also the fragments description contains from the Illuminati Team Up campaign mission. So that's something that we've already had, and I do want to talk about that here. But before we do, I want to talk about this store offer, which some of you may have seen. The Phoenix Ascended Orb for the event that's going right now this week. It does have 2 orbs of this instead of 1, though, which is a little bit weird. But it is the same. It's 20 Canadian, or I believe 15 US dollars. So you get 2 of these orbs and 4,000 points. There's absolutely no reason to have 2 orbs necessarily, because you can only get the awakened ability 1 time, but the orb does contain some other stuff. So this is mainly, if you were going to buy the orb anyways, then you can find the orb here, and there's 5 million gold and 8 million gold worth of training modules here on the right pillar. So in total, that's 16 million gold worth of modules. That's the easiest way to kind of describe that. And 10 million gold if you were to buy that offer for 15 US dollars. Again, having the dupes on this doesn't do anything for you, but if you were going to buy this anyways, there you go. Then maybe there's an extra excuse for you to do that. I just wanted to point that out because it appears to be a bug. I don't know why they'd give away 2 of these orbs. Now, I want to take this. This was a video that I did back in October and November. We're getting some Boilon-ception here. So the Illuminati team up, which appears to be what's coming back for Captain Britain, is just the super showcase that you guys might have remembered from the very beginning back in August. I think that's when he came out. Maybe it was July. I don't remember now. July, August, that kind of time. And this is going to be really easy, right? As long as you have the Illuminati characters, then you can do that. The second photo that I want to show you is from the other video that I did, which showed that on some of this was in October, November. I forget the date anyways. But you could farm Captain Britain shards at that time anyways. This was also at the time where he was in the candy store. Some of you guys might remember that October candy store where you could find, people were refreshing with cores, and you could find Captain Britain in the store. It seems that instead of farming the shards, you're farming these fragments, right? That was in the data mines. These the Captain Britain Encore or fragments, right? So it seems that that's what we're going to be getting instead. And what's interesting though is that the orb itself is 1 to 100 shards. So how generous is this going to be? I wonder, but let's just say, for sake of argument, right, that they're trying to be somewhat generous, because if you're a newer player, right, you would need 100 shards. I'm pretty sure he's a 3-star unlock. So does that mean that most players will get at least 100 shards to unlock him? I don't think it was changed, right? It's not is he a 2-star? I don't think he's a 2-star, right? I can't remember. I'm pretty sure he's not a 2-star. But anyways, hopefully there's enough shards to get a bear unlock, right? Whatever that happens to be, 45 shards, or I'm hoping it's 100 shards. I think that's what it was. And so if that's the case, right, I'm missing about 175 to get to 7. Am I going to get 175 in this event, which appears to be probably sometime next week? Maybe it could be in the latter half of next week. We'll most likely see it on the blog post this Friday, because usually data mines are no more than 10 days in advance. So because I got this on Tuesday evening, it's probably going to be before next Friday, I would imagine. I don't get normally 2 weeks in advance when it comes to data mines. So that's something to look forward to, and I hope that I can get that 7 yellow so I can buy that 7 red and just max that out. Anyways, I want to move on to the second half of the video, which is going to be the Old Man Logan trials. So he is coming back again, right? And as far as the characters that you need, unfortunately, so here's the thing. If you haven't unlocked Old Man Logan at all, what you can do is, I believe it was a D14 or D15 1-node run, and you can get Old Man Logan unlocked at a 3-star level, right? And so that's pretty easy because of the way that they structured the trial and most people. So I don't know what the new player team is still that you should build. Most people use Spider Society because I think that even for new players now, it's been a while since I've been down there. But Spider Society is still, I would imagine, a team that is still important to build, especially for newer players. And having them, I think they can do it as early as 75 G14 to do a D14 or 15 one node run. So that's something for newer players. If you haven't really got Old Man Logan yet, these are going to be the best characters that you're going to use. They can also be usable for the campaign in general because of the other teams that you need. But I do want to talk about for everyone else who's maybe trying to get a 7-star Old Man Logan. This is just a theory. I have a theory because they're pushing Lalandra to 7 yellow that if you want to use characters in Xavier, again, I have no proof on this one, that you might need them to be at 7 yellow, that there might be a 7 yellow restriction to Xavier. And I think that's why they're bringing some of these things back around more quickly. And I think we're going to see a Shadow King event in the near distant future as well before Xavier. So part of me believes that getting to 7 yellow is going to be very important if you want to use some of these pretty big characters. And so for Old Man Logan, you need, unfortunately, and there's no way around it, but you can kind of min-max this a little bit probably at this point. You don't need them this high, I don't think, for 7 yellow Old Man Logan, but unfortunately you still need to build this team. But where I would probably put my focus as far as gear goes would be in Black Knight and Cosmic Ghost Rider. I think those are the two best characters. Starbrand, you probably don't need as much in order to do the 7 yellow D15 run. Uh, and then Captain Carter, and Captain America. Keep in mind that they have to be 7 yellow, I'm pretty sure, to get through, don't they? Was it Starlocked? I'm pretty oh, 6, was it 6 yellow? I think it was 6 yellow, actually. But I'm pretty sure there was a Starlock to this one in Old Man Logan that they never removed. Did they remove that? See, now I can't remember if they removed that. Let me know in the comments down below. Either way, you're going to have to work on building these characters up if you do want to use them to clear the 7 yellow mission. For Cabal, I mean, so it's Cabal, Emma Frost, OG Emma Frost, and Loki. Keep in mind that there could be I want to say it's 6 yellow. I don't think they removed it, but maybe they did. The star restrictions on those nodes. Either way, there's not much, in terms of there's no flexibility on these particular nodes. But there is on the few other ones, there is a cosmic bio section. So there's going to be 3 additional sections, and I want to see whether or not there's actually any new characters since Annihilators. So previously we were using characters like Gore and Gladiator to fill in, and it looks like there might be some new inclusions now to the list. I haven't updated the infographic related to this in quite some time, but it does appear that now we've added in Invisible Woman for Mighty Avengers. We've added in Groot for the Starjammers if you have leveled them up. I guess that's Miss Marvel Classic actually is Cosmic Bio as well, so that's pretty good. Whether can you use Miss Marvel Classic standalone? Medusa's there too, so there is quite a few new characters that you can use. So you're not having to like rely on some of the older Illuminati characters that are not new stat eras, new stat era characters. You don't even need to use Void Knight necessarily either for this. So you have Gladiator, Gore, Groot. So Groot actually has some really good support skills. I'm just saying, he actually had a pretty astounding rework. So, it's not bad if you actually decide to use Groot for Old Man Logan's trial, because I think he'll hold up pretty well. Like his stats will, honestly, he's probably better than both Black Bolt and Mr. Fantastic combined. But then you also have the top 5 here. I would say Super Skrull, of course, is really, really nice too. And Miss Marvel Classic, right? Those are probably going to be your best bets. I would probably avoid, honestly, using Mr. Fantastic, Black Bolt, and Void Knight at this point in time because they're just older characters as far as the kits go. So that's Cosmic Bio, depending on what you have available to you. Now, there is Hero Skill. And previously, this was, you would want to use Spider Society. However, one of the annoying nodes that you're going to fight has Sinister Six characters on this. And looking at this now, right, things have changed a fair bit. We have Astral, Royal Moondragon. I mean, you probably could use Moondragon standalone. Black Knight, I think, was still highly recommended for this section, but you can see that the main inclusions that were kind of added to this, Cap Sam is a big one, and Peggy Carter. So if you do happen to have them, Cap Sam is definitely going to carry as a tank, in my opinion. His stats are like through the roof, and so I think he's going to be really, really helpful for this section. And he's definitely a newer character to build anyways. Spire Society is a team, however, that most people would have. But outside of that, I guess you would say Cap Sam, Peggy Carter, Some people may have skipped Moondragon because you know how Astral became with Battle World and all that stuff, and then Black Knight. So I guess that's a choice of like 9 characters or so. And unfortunately, Lalandra's not out yet, right? So we can't use Lalandra for Old Man Logan yet, but maybe in the future she will be an option, although there is no other characters to go alongside her as far as her team goes. So not a ton of additional options there. And then finally, it's really not that hard. I think I'm almost certain this is probably the easiest section. It is just villain. A lot of people actually, in fact, use Cabal and do that at the same time. So you could use Cabal with like basically any of your top villain characters here. You can, if you have Shadow King, you can use Shadow King as well. But of course, a lot of the Annihilators are also villain. Apocalypse is also in here as well. You know, depending, there's like tons of characters here that you can choose from. Orcus, I'm pretty sure, also does the same thing too. So super easy section. Don't think I had any problems with that. It seems that there was some changes in the Cosmic Bio, and if I'm not mistaken, outside of that Sinister 6 node for Hero Skill, Cosmic Bio was actually the second most difficult section for the Old Man Logan trial. So there are some newer characters to choose from if you so wish. And I think that's all I have to say, at least so far. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below about Captain Britain's return. What are your expectations for that? Do you think I'll get my 175 shards, or do you think that they're going to be pretty stingy about this? I guess time will tell. We'll find out either on the Friday blog, or we'll find out next week when the event comes around, but I wanted to share these details with you guys to give you a heads up about what's coming in Marvel Strike Force. So that's going to be the end of this video, everyone. And until next time, stay safe and healthy, and I'll see you all later. Boilon signing out.